Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is the Gandalf build episode 2. This one we're going to call Taking Shape. Last one was called The Bones. Obviously number 1, the bones, is the structure, the actual core of the build. Taking shape is when you actually start to see Gandalf actually coming into something. He's not just going to be like tubes and cement in a plastic bottle. He's going to have some structure to him. You're going to see something about him today. So first off here, make some thick cement, a nice thick consistency. This is the base. This is like going to be like the big timber log, big tree that he's going to be stood on. And as you see in the previous one, the proportions might not look quite right because he looked really tall, like a spectre or something. But when you appreciate like 30% of the structures, like the base, the proportions make a lot more sense, to be honest. So nice and thick. Don't make the mistake, as we've said before, of trying to complete it in one process. Do a bit, walk away, do a bit, walk away. Keep coming back to it. But always let things dry in between. So if you try and put it all on wet, you're going to come back and it's just going to fallen off and you're going to get fed up with the build and chuck it on the rubbish heap. Just keep going. It's like the hare and the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race, and it's true. So slowly this will start to look like something. It'll start to look like this tree trunk. It's a process. Everything's a process. So you make sure you've got plenty of cement. Don't make too much. You can always, less is more. If you run out, make some more. You can see I'm absolutely covered in cement here, which proves the point. This isn't AI. This is the real deal. Warts and all, mistakes and all, whatever. So try and make this look like a tree, so it doesn't have to be too, smooth. Remember, a tree, it's got texture, it's got bark. Just do that stipple effect. Just take a look at a tree, or take a picture of a tree and just copy what it looks like. A tree isn't smooth. Nature's not smooth. Here we go. So I've just got an old bit of stick. Just stipple it. Make it look like a tree trunk. It's easy enough to do. And I say you could do this with stones, make it look like a wall, but think about your abilities, work to your strengths. And making a tree is much easier than making stones where they have to be symmetrical. And now I think that looks like a tree. You might say it looks like frosting on a cake, but to me it looks like a tree. So there you go. So do it until you're happy. You don't have to go too mad, because don't forget the tree will be painted anyway. So let's get the basic structure. Stipple away, keep stippling, and it's therapeutic. Actually, it's enjoyable. It's a good part of the process, so just keep going with it and achieve what you want to achieve. At the moment it looks nothing like Gandalf. It looks like some kind of crazy kind of I don't know, alien or something, doesn't it, with all them pipes sticking out and egg boxes. But now you're going to see this is the transformation starting now. Get an old shirt. Don't get your best one or any of your wife's best material, because you're going to be in the doghouse for that. T-shirt that doesn't fit anymore, one that you're never going to use again. But the important thing here, make sure the material is quite thin, because at the end of the day you want it to look like a garment when it's on the body. You don't like a big solid hunk of something. So fairly thin, so you can get those pleats and the flowing lines of the clothing of his smock or cape or whatever it is. So again, a loose consistency of cement, so it adheres nicely to the garment. It's a messy job, guys. Do it outside, well away from anywhere important. Don't wear your best clothes. Wear gloves. Don't follow me because I'm stupid. My hands did suffer for this, believe me. All my fingers split after this. My skin went dry. It was horrible. There we go. Now you can see here, just lay it over gently. And now you can see we're starting to look like something. It's transforming. Get the pleats in. Let it hang nice and loose. Not too much cement on it. And put some wire around the waist, and it just gives it the shape. As I say, you've got to let it dry after this. Leave it for a day. Come back the next day. But we will be putting more layers of cement. But the initial one, just a light coating, just to get the shape and the pleats and the sweeping lines. Don't do too much. Nice and steady. And you can see it is starting to look like something. You can see your vision coming to life in your mind, and that's the beauty of these, these art projects, to be honest. You might think you're not an artist, but it's surprising what you can achieve with very little cost, just a bit of patience, but you need a lot of enthusiasm. And as I say, don't be disheartened if at first it looks like a pile of junk, because believe me, you will get better. And I say I'm by no means perfect, but I'm usually pretty pleased with the results, because I play to my strengths. Now, nice and loose on the console. Oh no, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Now, I said I'm going to include all the mistakes in these videos. This was an epic mistake. So here I'm trying to make a book to go under his arm. And, without being too harsh, it looked absolutely ridiculous. It was one of them things. It looked like a giant bar of dairy milk or something. It looked nothing like a book. I was trying to have like a book of spells under Gandalf's or Merlin's arm. It looked ridiculous. So this was one of those points where I adapted the project, which you can do. It's your project. Do what you want. And as you see, I didn't go with the book idea. So this is probably the last time you're going to see this. It was absolutely ridiculous. But I thought I'd leave it in because it was what I was doing at the time. I had these old plastic packaging things. I thought that'd make a good book. Think again. Didn't work. But anyway, back to the project again. So yeah, the wire comes off. You can see we've got the shape of the waist now. Like I say, you can see, so this is still, it's not solid because this is just one coat of cement. Keep that in mind. So now we've got to build those layers up. So you need a nice loose consistency here, because you've got to give the appearance it's clothing, not a solid lump of cement. It's got to look like clothes. So keep it loose. I'm not trying to teach anyone to suck eggs here, but I'm just going from my experience, learning from my mistakes. You can see the fabric sticking through in actual fact on some places, so that proves how thin it is. So just build it up slowly. As I say, guys, I'm not wearing gloves. Try and wear gloves, unless you like pain, because it did hurt. But I tend not to, because I find I can get that smoothness of the appearance with my fingers. And you can see I'm absolutely covered in this stuff. Cement's, it has pluses and minuses. It's good because it's easy to work with, but it's messy. It is messy. It gets everywhere. That's why I do it in a corner of the garden where I'm out of the way. It's not going to upset the family. But it's a lot of fun working with cement, to be honest. And you can achieve some great results, and it's cheap. I mean, I'm looking at a build cost here of, I don't know what, £10–15. But a lot of time. And so, use what you've got lying around. We've talked about this before. Use up your trash, use up your waste. You will buy odd things, particularly paint probably and cement, but apart from that, I often have bits just lying around, and I adapt the project to what I've got. And it's one of my favourite things. We're going to work on the head next, and packaging tape. I love tape. Everything gets a roll of tape. On every project, the first thing I buy is a roll of tape, because I know I'm going to use it. So this is the base of the head, the jaw if you like. Now again, you can see another mistake here. It sounds ridiculous, but I tried the hot glue gun, and it really didn't work because it melted the plastic. And so back to tape. So this is going to be the neck. This goes in there, and this will be the final part of today's video. So you can see we've got the shape of the body, which I think looks pretty good, to be honest. And next it's the packaging tape for the head. Build that piping in. As I say, piping is good if you can get it, because it goes together like Lego. It just sticks together. But if you haven't, alley tubing can work, broom handles, whatever you've got, whatever's cheap. And if you can justify spending a lot of money on a project, fair means, but I like to keep it as cheap as possible. Most of my projects cost about £10–15 each, no more. Just depends if you've got bits lying around. I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I tend not to throw packaging or bits of pipe, anything like that. I don't throw it away. And so for this head, you could cut a ball in half, because you need that round shape. This is one of those blind gifts that my son got with an anime toy, and he, anything that he throws away, I keep it. So I thought, yeah, a round ball, I can use that. Perfect shape for a head. Obviously, your head's not round, but you need the basic structure. That's going to be that. So basically, it doesn't have to be too important because these are just the forms where you pour the cement. You see on the right hand side, this is going to be the top of the head, that half of the ball. Bottom half is the jawline, lower head, into the neck. And that's just going to slot into the top eventually. Trial and error, you're going to make mistakes. But don't be disheartened by the mistakes because they're just part of the process. When in doubt, just put another layer of tape on it. Tape always works. As a general rule of thumb in life, I don't like using tape and glue, but I tend to use it a lot in projects. So you've got the basic structure there. It doesn't have to be that solid because the cement's going to, give you the rigidity. See, that just goes in there. Just an example. That's the beauty of cement. But if you get the basics right, it is lovely and solid. Need a base now. This is one of the old cans that I took the top off. These are good, these old beer cans. Again, fashion please, the orange shorts are back out, which my wife hates, but if they get covered in cement, it doesn't matter because I don't wear them outside. Again, getting the form ready for cement pouring, last job of the day. Easier if you've got like a sloppy consistency here. Easier to pour, easier to work with, doesn't really matter though. That's just the structure for the head. So we're not doing the fine details on the head, you just want to get the basic structure, so I don't worry too much about it. So this is the final bit for today, the final pour. Again, this will take a day to set, walk away and leave it. Go to work, do whatever else you got to do. Just put it in a corner of the garden. Obviously if it's going to rain, make sure you've got somewhere to cover it up. Just walk away and leave it. So when we come back in the next video, you'll see the head go in place and you'll see even more transformation. But I think this video, when I call it taking shape, it really has taken shape because we've got you can get an idea what it's going to look like now. As I say, those early days are difficult because it's hard to see to marry your vision to what you actually got stood in front of you. But now you can actually see it. Gives you a bit of heart to carry on, a bit of motivation. Like I say, that's it. Use up all your cement. Try and not make too much. Try and use what you can pick what you're going to use. And that's going to be it for today, guys. There's a final bit of cement. So that's episode 2, taking shape. Come back next week when we'll do number 3. And I'll tell you what the title will be later. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Take care.